that directly affect our kids, although, like you say, it takes good leadership, of course, all the way down, but something to look into.
Hi. First, I want to apologize for my introduction. I did actually prepare for the questions. I got a little confused after Dana has spoken, so I didn't read my answers. Anyway, I would have to agree mainly with Marion. I'd have to think that the ratio of administrators to students is a little high. I think they're all doing a great job so far. I would like to look at the job descriptions to see if we could disseminate the responsibilities amongst others, if we could cut back at all. I can't say, and I can't take a hard stance whether we need to throw this one out to the curb or that one out. Again, I'll know more if I'm elected and I get to be in there and get to know these people better.
Kind of going along right with the line here, I do absolutely believe that our administration needs to be looked at, and I think at the very minimum it needs to be fine-tuned and looked at to see what exactly things are we doing. I broke it? I think I broke it. No. Okay. To see what things that they are doing, what things that they can stop doing. You know, Jim has made the comment, and I've read just about that we're not top-heavy, and I'm concerned whether student teacher administrator ratio or not, are there things that we could get rid of to save some dollars? And that's really something that I agree with Misty and Marion, that we'd have to look through exactly what things are each of these people doing, what things can we stop doing, what things could we possibly maybe outsource or have other people doing if they're still needed at a cheaper cost. But I do think our administration absolutely needs to be reevaluated.
I personally don't think that right now that we're top heavy, because we've done a lot of cuts. We've done an awful lot of cuts, the last referendum and before it. I don't think that the principal, and I've heard it said where they want the principal and the superintendent to be the same position. They're two different jobs, and I've walked in already to the office and walked by the principal's office when he was dealing with a kid that was screaming at him. And then I walked down the hall to the superintendent's, and he had a little bit of quiet where he was able to do his work. I don't think you can just snap and just go from one to the other. You have to have somebody that's in charge of it, taking care of the budget and everything else, away from the students, and the principal dealing with the kids. So I don't think we're top heavy right now. We could tweak a little bit here and there. As far as office staff, we're lean. And we do have a lot of paperwork to do in that, and there's a lot of state and federal mandates that have to be taken care of. Thank you.
Hi. I think we're very top heavy. I've done some research on other districts in all of Illinois, Manteno and others, with a student count of 2,000. I believe that we can manage our district with a co-superintendent principal position. With that in mind, I think that we should also look at hiring a business manager, somebody who can attend to perhaps looking into ways of getting more funding into our district, more grants, and handle the business that some of the superintendent does now. In addition, I think that because there's only 250 students or so over at Westfield, that title could be assistant principal and could report to the superintendent principal. Another thing that I think we're top heavy on is that I really don't understand why we have somebody with the title of human resources manager in a district that only has 600 students, and I think a total employee count of about 40. So I believe we're top heavy. I think we need to make some major cuts in the administration. However, I would review every single position and talk to people and understand what they're doing before I made those recommendations.
My position on this too is that I think we are a little bit top heavy at this time. We have a superintendent, 2.5 principals, and then my understanding is part-time student pupil coordinator. My thoughts are is to reduce that down. But what no one else has mentioned too is we have a school board of 7 individuals that I think need to step up and do a little more work in the schools, helping the principals, helping the superintendent, and really work together to overcome a decrease in administrative staff.
Well, having served on the school board for almost 4 years, I feel like I have valuable knowledge on what goes on. I believe that we need leadership, and just as every company has a president and a leader, a teachers union has a person, you know, that they have a spokesperson, I believe we need a superintendent. I believe that we need our principals to deal with the everyday issues, to help guide the teachers and the staff in their jobs. Last time I checked, we were still, teachers and administrators were still lowest paid in Lake County, and that our teachers and administrators, they still have to maintain an education, receive a degree, and hold high standards in what they possess knowledge-wise and experience. And we need that. And if we're not willing to be fair with our teachers and our staff and our administrators, we won't have good staff. We won't have good administrators. We won't have good leadership. And overall, with the big picture, you know, if we cut an administrator, that will help some financially. But as far as what we're dealing with here from the state aid cut, that is a very small portion of what we're looking to try to balance. It's one creative way which could be utilized possibly, but I don't feel that that is our best option at this time. Thank you.
If each of you think of the companies that you work for and of the best company that you've worked for and the worst, I would venture to say that the best company you work for had the best leadership. The one thing I do know is that every organization is led by the leadership at the top. And if you're honest, you'll say that the ones you've worked for that have been the most successful, probably the best places to work, had the best leadership. We've examined where we're at. Over the past 6 years, we have eliminated the full-time technology director and outsourced that, and had the part-time principal also pick up that technology piece. We have reduced the special ed director. We have closed Spring Bluff, and that principal's position, as I said, went half-time. One thing that we have unique in our district is the layout of our district. If we were all in one building, I think we could re-examine our administrative staff, but we have 2 different buildings. At one time when I started the board, we had a principal that went between 2 buildings, and there were issues that were brought from that. I think we provide the best leadership possible by having one principal in each building and having one superintendent lead that leadership team. We're always open for new ideas, looking at possibly combining the schools in the future, but right now our concern is the economics and what we do day to day. For that support that we have one superintendent and our 2 principals to lead our district. Thank you.
I do believe at this time we have a unique opportunity to re-examine all the issues that are brought in front of the board and all things that are going to relay and affect the budget. It's been brought to our attention as well in some meetings that there has been some outside evaluations, individual that have looked and are speaking with administration. I'm interested to hear what they have to say before I can actually say there should be some alteration to principal job sharing or same position as a superintendent. I think sometimes if we move forward too quickly to try to prevent problems, it's not always the greatest solution. But I definitely think there is a means of opportunity to, I would say, to save some money. Nothing here is going to be in one item fix. I think it might, in the end, come down to this, that we do have to nitpick the budget. Thank you.
I wish I was privy to the information that the school board members have. It would make this decision, or this, form my opinion much easier. I think that it would be easy to say, let's cut the administration, let's cut the teachers, let's cut the buses. But the thing is that until I have enough information to actually form an opinion, I can't really say that this is what my position is. I think that maybe perhaps we're top heavy, but I'd like to see more information. I want to see job descriptions. I want to see where we have people that are doing over and above their job description, and then people that might not be pulling their weight. I want to see what we can do to fix this budget problem. This is we're going to have to go through it line item by line item. That is the bottom line. There is no way that you can make a stance on something like this right now, because we don't have the information that we need to make these decisions. Thank you.
Unfortunately or fortunately, probably 70 to 80% of the budget is salaries and benefits. So that's where it's going to be cut. I mean, you can cut paper, you can cut whiteout, but it's not going to cut the budget enough to make a difference. And you can nitpick every little thing and say, well, that little bit, and everything. And you have to do that. But the majority is in salaries and benefits. So I think every area needs to be looked at. To make a cut, just a classroom, I don't know in the long run. And unfortunately, I don't know whether you find out too late, it did hurt. And now the education has been dampered by that. I think in the superintendent and principals area, there are school districts that do have them combined. And I don't know if I would want that job, but I'm sure that there are some people that would want it. So that's another area. If you do have the leadership to do it, and you say, okay, well, fine, then you be the superintendent principal. More than likely, if they're really good, they're going to go find something else that is their forte, and I think it's a little overwhelming. But again, all areas do have to be looked at. Thank you. Oh, sorry.